Since I started practicing law in 1993, the policy of the 14th Circuit Court District Attorney's Office has always been an open file policy, which works great, except for the fact that the state of Mississippi can only turn over evidentiary items to defense counsel if they are provided with those items. I don't know when this case was indicted. I don't have it in front of me. I can't remember it. It really doesn't matter. The bottom line is this file should have been turned over to the DA's office prior to the indictment. And by file, I mean the entire file, including a video recorded statement of the victim, which was also requested by defense to the DA's office. Mr. Bates acknowledges that. He acknowledges that he was told that it didn't exist. And lo and behold, here we are on the second day of trial, and we find out something that these attorneys have been looking for at least a week and potentially months is actually in your file. Mr. Fernando, you understand you've got to turn your entire file over to Mr. Bates' office for him to be able to prosecute these cases. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you come out with a video of a statement that nobody's ever seen before. And who had possession of that?
I had possession.
That's right. And was there any way for Mr. Bates to know about it, or Mr. Stubbs or Mr. Kitchens, if you didn't turn it over to Mr. Bates?
No, sir.
You understand how the system doesn't work when that happens?
Yes, sir.
I want you to go through your file and make sure that everything in your file is in possession of Mr. Bates and, by osmosis, defense counsel. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions?
No, sir.
Any questions by defense?
I have just a couple, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Just briefly. Detective Fernando, did you turn over all this information to the grand jury?
Yes, sir.
You're telling this judge that you actually turned all this information over to the district attorney's office to present to the grand jury, and they had it?
To my knowledge, yes, sir. But now I had here, but I thought I gave to them.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question but that he did not turn this over to the district attorney's office.
That's what I'm kind of getting at, Judge. So
I don't believe that. Mr. Bates, have you ever seen this before today?
No, Your Honor.
Have you asked for everything in the file?
And Your Honor, I do have documentation, and yes, Your Honor, I have documentation from July the 7th, 2022, asking specifically, and I would ask this to be marked as exhibit. And we also, being the district attorney's office, sent a document requesting any and all interviews back. This is actually May the 13th, 2022, signed by investigator Damian Gatlin and Vincent Fernando, investigator. And I've asked those to be marked as exhibits for this.
All right, they'll be marked as next exhibits as ID only. I have no question in my mind that, I mean, in fact, Mr. Kitchens asked for it last week. Mr. Bates sought to get it, was it last week, Mr. Kitchens?
Yeah,
Or 2 weeks ago?
I mean, months ago, obviously, with our initial discovery request. And we talked about it when we had a hearing in here and the officer detective was on the stand. And then again, we met to make sure after that hearing, we all met, the district attorney's office, Detective Fernando and us in the room back in the back and went through and didn't have it. And then over the weekend, I saw a note that indicated that, in the discovery file, that a Post-it note or something, I thought. So I sent an email to the district attorney's office just to make sure they confirmed they didn't have it. So, we get here today and apparently it does exist.
And Mr. Bates acknowledged receiving that email and has represented to the court that he, once again, tried to get everything that might exist in the police department files so that he could get that information to y'all. I don't believe this to be, candidly, I don't believe this to be the fault of Mr. Bates or the district attorney's office. I don't think he knew that it existed, and he's told me that, and I believe that. So I'm going to let y'all hash out whatever you need to hash out this afternoon, and we will be back here ready to go at 9 o'clock in the morning.